regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart.
The first presidential election happened last night.
And you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
We got a lot to cover in today's video. Let's start with breaking news. VanEck filed for spot Solana ETF.
The asset manager filed an S1 for what would be the first Solana ETF in the U.S.
VanEck filing for a spot Solana ETF is huge. In this statement explains exactly why VanEck did this.
In a post on X this morning, Matthew Siegel, head of digital assets research at VanEck, explained why the firm filed for a spot Solana ETF, saying that the Ethereum alternative stands out as a, quote, powerful and accessible blockchain software that enables greater transaction volume with minimal fees and employs a, quote, advanced security mechanism that combines proof of history and proof of stake. He also outlines some reasons why the firm believes Solana's SOL token is a commodity and not a security. He pointed to its decentralized nature, high utility, and economic feasibility, saying they align with the characteristics of other established digital commodities.
In less than 24 hours after VanEck's filing, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest also filed for a spot Solana ETF. We already knew this coming. Listen to this.
So Bitcoin and Ether, anything beyond that?
Well, you know, there are infrastructure players. Solana is doing a really good job. I mean, if you look at Ether was faster and cheaper than Bitcoin in the day. That's how we got Ether. Solana is even faster and cost-effective than Ether.
Solana seems to be getting a wave of institutional support. Cathie Woods explains here.
We do think that smart contracts are going to grow in importance as decentralized finance continues to develop momentum. And both of those are smart contract networks. Each of them has benefits and some trade-offs, but we think both are winners. And to have watched Solana, to watch the developers stick with Solana speaks volumes to us. I always say follow the developers, and they certainly stuck with Solana, and they're also scaling in terms of Ethereum as well. So we think those are two powerful networks in the decentralized finance space. And we also think that this notion of DeFi, decentralized finance, that if people just start looking at it and thinking about it as simply the internet financial system. The internet in the early days was never conceived as hosting commerce or financial services. And so developers back then didn't build in that capability. All that's happening now with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana is developers are building in native currencies and much more streamlined, fewer intermediaries, streamlined ways of dealing in the financial system. Much more efficient, much more productive, just like the internet itself.
So Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs approved. As Solana future ETFs could come immediately like that, sooner rather than later. Believe or not, it could be there. Because we've just seen this with Link. Coin-based derivatives just filed with the CFTC to list US regulated futures contracts for Link. Solana could be easily next. It would be nice Solana does not technically need a futures ETF to get a spot ETF. Here's a Matthew Siegel of VanEck reveals this on Scott Melk's podcast. You should listen to this.
Bitcoin and Ethereum have markets of meaningful size. They're traded on CME futures. To my understanding, those are big hurdles. We don't have Solana CME futures. So what's the mechanic for something like a Solana ETF to be approved at this point?
If you recall, in order to satisfy the regulated market of significant size, folks have been using the CME futures market, but there was also talk of surveillance sharing agreements between the relevant crypto exchanges and the listing exchange, in this case, Chicago Board of Exchange or NASDAQ. And Coinbase negotiated and signed those deals before the Bitcoin spot ETF came to market, but they were not put into effect. In the end, they used the futures market. If the exchanges are willing to sign those similar surveillance sharing agreements for, say, Solana, then perhaps that might be the market. So we'll see. I think when you read the language in the Ethereum 19v4s about the decentralization characteristics, about what makes Ethereum a commodity, it's you can basically substitute Solana for Ethereum in every sentence there, and the truth still holds. So there are also examples of commodity-based ETFs that do not have a futures market. So there may be a chance. Like I said, it might surprise you.
Probably the most bullish regulatory catalyst for the crypto industry. A Solana ETF, a spot ETF, would be a pro-crypto president. Now, last night, the United States saw the first presidential election. Bitcoin was not brought up. Crypto was not brought up. A lot of issues were not brought up. It was a complete show. In fact, getting moments like this.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
Let's not act like children.
Whoever wants to become president better develop a pro-crypto strategy. And thus far, that seems to be Donald Trump. Not that Biden couldn't also become pro-crypto. I hope he does. Crypto is not a partisan issue. Joe Biden and his administrations will be attending a Bitcoin and crypto roundtable in D.C. in July. Scaramucci will actually be there with Mark Cuban and many others. They all hope to help Joe Biden pivot more towards crypto. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is being a pro-crypto candidate. Jesse Powell, the founder of Kraken, just donated $1 million in Ethereum to Donald Trump. He says for too long, the crypto industry has been under attack by Elizabeth Warren, Gary Gensler, and others, despite overwhelming bipartisan congressional efforts to put clear rules in place. The Biden White House has stood by and allowed a campaign of unchecked regulation by enforcement. This approach is diminishing U.S. competitiveness as other major economies around the world advance clear rules to regulate digital assets. So $1 million in Ethereum to Donald Trump is huge. Not surprised if he will have to give it back, though, because the Winklevoss just donated $1 million in Bitcoin each to Trump, and it was a little bit over campaign donations limits, and they did get refunded by the Trump administration. We are not sure if they're going to lower their donations to something that is regulatory appropriate. Either way, one thing is clear. Donald Trump is signaling to the crypto industry that he is pro-crypto industry. Looks like he is going to be a speaker at Bitcoin Nashville this month or next month. In fact, Donald Trump is in talks. Also, what we know, he will speak at Bitcoin Nashville Conference, July 25th through 27th. If he shows up, this will be a huge event. However, Bitcoin and crypto as an issue is only going to get more popular. Just in, over 1 million people hold 1 Bitcoin. Data shows that over 1 million unique addresses are now holding more than 1 Bitcoin. Obviously, millions and millions of people own 0.1 Bitcoin and 0.01 Bitcoin, and hundreds of millions of people own crypto. My dear fellow friends, subscribe to 911 Crypto Channel. Bitcoin is primed to be over 80K any minute now. Well, maybe not any minute. Most likely, it's going to happen till the end of this year. It takes time and patience. People have to understand, at certain point will be your last chance. Just like $20,000 Bitcoin is now off the table. Just like $30,000 Bitcoin is now off the table. You would think maybe $40,000 or $50,000 Bitcoin off the table. Maybe you can get it. Don't forget, please, Bitcoin is at 60,000, but in certain point, it will be your last chance. Dear viewers, don't forget to subscribe to our 911 crypto channel. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe and informed.